Good morning, friends, family, Facebook, YouTube. We got ups. This is Ivan with the Church of Christ, One Nation, One Power, back again with another lesson entitled War of the Words. Before I begin, I want to give thanks to the Most High, Ahaya, His Son Yeshua, and also the Ruach HaKodesh. And I ask the Most High that He blesses and sanctifies this lesson this morning, and that He put His words in my mouth. Ladies and gentlemen, let's begin. You will need the Third Testament today. And word of today will be falsity. While we're reading the Third Testament, the Most High, Ahaya, will use this word, falsity, while we're reading, okay? So let's get that definition. Falsity is either a straight up lie or the fact that something isn't true. Falsity is a word for statements that are false in the sense of being incorrect, untrue, or even dishonest. If you tell a lie, you've told a falsity, which can also be called an untruth or falsehood. Also, falsity can mean the general state of falseness. Conmen and other liars often operate in falsity. A spy must use falsity to fool people. The opposite of falsity or falseness is true. So the opposite of a lie is the truth. Falsity. Let's begin today in your Bible, King James Version, Psalms chapter 58, verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies, falsity. Psalms 58, verse 3. Let's go to John chapter 8, verse 44. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abide not in the truth, because there was no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own words, for he is a liar and the father of it. John chapter 8, verse 44. 1 Kings chapter 22, verses 1 through 23. And there came forth a spirit, and stood before the Lord, and said, I will persuade him. And the Lord said unto him, Wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, Thou shalt persuade him, and prevail also. Go forth and do so. Now, therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets, and the Lord hath spoken evil concerning thee. So we have a spirit that stood before the Lord, asking to be a lying spirit in the mouths of all the prophets, and the Most High, He allowed it. 1 Kings chapter 22, verses 21 through 23. Be careful. We have that same spirit here on your pastors and also your ministers. Lying spirit. Preaching falsity. Let's go to 2 Thessalonians. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. And let's read verses 5 through 12. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, with all deceitfulness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause God shall send them strong delusion, that they shall believe a lie, that they all might be damned, who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. Now, the Most High, He's allowing this falsity to be spread all across the world. And we all believe that lie. We've all believed it. But now the Most High is sending that truth. And some of you will reject it because you're used to the lie. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 5 through 12. Okay. Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 19. O Lord, my strength and my fortress, and my refuge in the day of affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, falsity, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. You see, each and every Gentile on this earth right now has inherited lies from their father, from their grandfather, and so forth. And they're still teaching that same lie, falsity. They preach it and don't even know that they're lying. That'll be it. Let's open up the seal portion, chapter 31, verse 42. The seal portion, chapter 31, verse 42. Verse 42. For Satan, Salakia, whispereth a portion of the truth unto many, that he might convince them of his power. And he introduceth his own precepts, mingled with the truth, to deceive you. And for this reason, this record hath been prepared and sealed up to come forth unto you, to help you, discern the truth of all things. So Satan, he whispered a portion of the truth, meaning the rest is going to be a lie. So with the sealed portion here, we will be able to discern the lie from the truth. The sealed portion, chapter 31, verse 42. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the Third Testament. Chapter 61, verse 57. Page 318, if you have this copy or this version of the book. Verse 51. I do not wish to see lies in you, O Israel. I do not wish to see lies in you, O Israel. For one day they will be uncovered. And then the world will say, are these the disciples of the Master? If the disciples are false, so too was the Master who instructed them by giving them lies. Israel, you need to discern the lie and from the truth. You will need the sealed portion. If you don't have it, you might be well just teaching lies, okay? That was the Third Testament, chapter 61, verse 57. But ladies and gentlemen, Jews and Gentiles, we will be in chapter 6 today. And I will read the words of God himself, verses 27 through 44. And it's very important that we pay attention to verse 32, 33, and 34. It's very important. The Most High is telling us something, Israel. We got to pay attention. But let me start at verse 27. Let's read down to verse 32, 33, and 34 and finish the chapter. All right? Page 61. You might want to get your highlighters and highlight those three verses right there. 32, 33, and 34. But let's start at verse 27. Because the Most High is speaking. So allow me to read the words of the Most High. If to you my doctrine seems strange, insofar as you think that knowing me, you have never heard these words. You have never heard these words. So I'm reading it to you right now, Israel. I tell you that your surprise is the result of your negligence in penetrating the depths of what I revealed to you in times past, Salakia. It is for that reason that this doctrine seems strange or new, when in reality this light has been always present in your life. You see, this book has always been here, but we've never known it. We just always stayed in the Bible. Verse 28. My doctrine is this: as in the second era shall move humanity, the hypocrites will have to confront sincerely. Falsity will let its mask fall, and the truth will shine forth. The truth shall prevail over the lie that envelopes this world. Now remember, if you believe not the truth, then you shall be damned. So pay attention to the words of the Most High that I'm reading to you, Israel. Verse 29. Man will be able to understand and recognize all that which encompasses reason and truth, but all that which he was obligated to believe without understanding, he will reject. And therefore, my doctrine will spread because it gives forth light that men need. It gives forth that light that man needs. A great part of this work falls to you that are revealing to your brothers its beginning and its end. Humanity is hungry for my word, for my truth. Men yearn and clamor for the light to come to their understanding. They demand justice and await counsel. This is a decisive time in truth. I tell you that many ideas, theories, and even dogmas that have been held as truth for centuries shall fall to the earth and be abandoned as false. Fanatism and idolatry will be fought against and exterminated by those who were most involved and faithful to it. The teachings of God will be understood. Their light, their content, and their essence will be comprehended and felt. The men of science, after a time of testing during which they will suffer very great confusion, when in their spirits the light shines, and they have heard the voice of their conscience, will discover that of which they have never dreamed. 32. Verse 33 and 34 is what I'm about to read, Israel. You might want to highlight this. Again, I tell you, be vigilant. For in the time of the struggles of creeds and doctrines of religions and science, many men, knowing that you do not carry books, many men knowing that you do not carry the Third Testament, many men knowing that you do not carry the Apocrypha. Many men, knowing that you do not carry the sealed portion, many men, knowing that you do not carry the book of remembrance of our King. Many men, knowing that you do not carry the book of remembrance of our ancient grandmothers. Many men know that you don't carry the book of remembrance of Enoch. They know you don't carry these books. But let's continue. The book of remembrance of Melchizedek. Many men, they know you don't carry these books. The stick of Joseph in the hand of Ephraim. These men, they know you don't carry them, Israel. The sealed book of Moses. Many men know that you don't carry this book. I told y'all the Most High talking, right? Many men, knowing that you do not carry books, will believe that the knowledge given them by their books will be the weapon by which they can defeat my new disciples. Damn. So the Gentiles think that their books will defeat the books the Most High gave us, Israel. Let me repeat that. Many men, knowing that you do not carry books, will believe that the knowledge given them by their books will be the weapon by which they can defeat my new disciples. Verse 33. I have told you, disciples, that you shall have to look at the great religions. Let us stop. Let us look at these religions, Israel. Let us look at them. The Baptist religion, the Pentecostal religion, the Mormon religion, the Jehovah's Witness religion, and the Seventh-day Adventist religion. Let's look at them. Show you one more time. Let's get back to the words of my Father. Verse 33. I have told you, disciples, that you shall have to look at these great religions and the small sects that is directly in the eye. But before neither should you have fear. The Most High is letting us know, Israel, that all these man-made religions shall not fear us, and we shall not fear them. The truth that I have entrusted to you is transparent. The word that I have taught you is clear and simple on the surface, but infinitely deep in its content. And they are powerful weapons with which you will struggle and win. You see, we just recently gotten these books like 2 years ago. We were struggling with them. But over time, we've been reading these books, line upon line, precept upon precept. Here a little, there a little. Now we bad. We can't be stopped, Israel. Especially me. You see, I carry all these books everywhere I go. I don't leave home without my swords. Put it like that. You never know when a Gentile might come and try me, and I will shut that ass down with these weapons. Let's repeat verse 33. I have told you, disciples, that you shall have to look at the great religions and the small sects directly in the eye, but before neither should you have fear. The truth that I have entrusted to you is transparent. The word that I have taught you is clear and simple on the surface, but infinitely deep in its content. And they are powerful weapons with which you will struggle and win. And yet I tell you that there arise a people on the earth full of materialism and disbelief to deny you the right to call yourselves Israel. Let me repeat that. And yet I tell you, there shall arise a people on the earth full of materialism and disbelief, to deny to you to call yourselves Hebrew Israelites, to deny your testimony of having received the new coming of the Messiah, and that people are the Hebrews. Have you not thought this? That people await in their bosom the arrival of their Messiah, their Savior, from whom they will receive justice, and who will, pay attention to this, place them once again over all peoples of the earth. The Most High will again, Israel, place us above all peoples upon the face of the earth. That people knows that I have always come to them, and in this third era, this is the third era we're living in, ladies and gentlemen, I shall say, why should God come to another people? Why should God come to the Gentiles if Israel is no longer here on this earth? Why should I come to another people? But here are my teachings. Let's go back up. The Most High said that He's going to place us over all peoples over the earth, again, Israel. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. You see, I'm reading the words of my Father to you. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Let's go back here. Remember, the Most High said that He's going to place us again over all the peoples of the earth. That people knows another people. Salakia. That people knows that I have always come to them. And in that third era, I shall say, why should God come to another people? But here are my teachings. Let's stop. Let's go to 2nd Esdras chapter 6 real quick. 2nd Esdras chapter 6, and let's read verses 54 through 59. Verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the peoples also, whom thou hast chosen. And all this, Salakia, all this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. As for the other people, which also come of Adam, whom thou hast said that they are nothing but be like unto spittle, and as like in the abundance of them which drop but be like unto spittle, and as like in the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from the vessel. And now, Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? How long shall it endure? Well, all these volcanoes popping off, all these earthquakes popping off, Israel. The Most High is giving us back our lands. He's sweeping the Gentiles off our lands. He will place us once again over all peoples on the face of the earth. Why should God come to another people? The spiritualist people live unknown. The world does not know of your existence, and the great do not notice you. But the struggle between spiritualists and Christians, between spiritualists and Jews approaches. That struggle is necessary for the establishment of my doctrine throughout mankind. Then shall the Old Testament be united in one single essence with the second and the third. So what the Most High is saying is that the Old Testament goes with the New Testament, and with the New Testament comes the Third Testament. You see, each era, the Most High gives us books, Israel. The first era, he gave us the Old Testament. During the second era, he gave us the Second Testament. Now we're living in the last days, and he has given us a new book, a new weapon against the Gentiles. Because remember, the Gentiles, they have a book that shall defeat us. So the Most High has to give us, Israel, a weapon to shut them down. Verse 37. Let's repeat that. My word will continue written for all time. With it you will form the book of the third era, the Third Testament, the final message from the Father. For in the three eras, remember the first era, second era, and third era, God wielded his golden pen to leave his wisdom to mankind. Moses was the first golden pen. Moses was the first golden pen. Let's stop. Let's go to Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. And we're going to read it from the Joseph Smith New Translation of the Bible. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. On one side, I have the inspired version, and on the other side, I have the King James version, okay? But we're going to read Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, and we're going to use the inspired version, okay? Remember, Moses was the first golden pen. And it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Behold, I reveal unto you concerning this heaven and this earth. Write the words which I speak. Write the words which I speak. Remember, Moses was the first golden pen, which the Father used to inscribe in erasable letters in a book the events of the first era. Moses was the golden pen of Yeshua. Among the apostles and followers of the second era, Yeshua had 4 pens, who were Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. These were the golden pens of the divine master. And when the time arrived to unite the First Testament is the Old Testament, with the second, the New Testament, with binding of love, recognition, and spiritual progress, then one single book was formed. Now, in the third era, we're in the third era, and I have the Third Testament in my hand, which I'm reading to you, the words of God, in which you have again my word. I have again named the golden pens, so that it may be written down. When the time arrives, you will form a single book, and this book, that of the third era, will, when the time is right, be united with the books of the second, the New Testament, and the first, the Old Testament, and then with the revelations, prophecy, and words of the 3 eras, the First Testament, Second Testament, and Third Testament, the book of life will be formed for the enjoyment of all spirits. Then ye shall recognize that from the first word to the last, all has been fulfilled in truth and spirit, that all the prophecies were the future history that the Father revealed to mankind. For only God can write of events yet to be. When the prophets have spoken it, it was not they, but God who did so through their conduit. I have prepared my new chosen ones. I have prepared my new chosen ones sufficiently. 144,000 in the last days, as had been Moses and the 4 disciples of the second era. Remember, that was Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the 4 disciples of the second era, the New Testament, so that my word is recorded with complete cleanness, clarity, and truth, for it is for the generations of tomorrow. And if any would add or remove anything from this book, I shall see to them. Now, my very beloved children, who shall care about this book? Who shall care about this book? I got you, Most High. I care about this book, Most High. I'm reading your words right now, Most High, that you are forming. None in truth, but the moment shall come in which a humanity full of anxiety and of curiosity ask you for your book. And then it shall be unveiled, scrutinized, and discussed in that struggle of ideas. Bands will arise, men of science, theologians, and philosophers. To the nations will be carried the testimony of your word and the book of wisdom, and all shall speak of my doctrine. And all shall speak of my doctrine. That shall be the beginning of the new battle, the war of words, of thoughts, of ideas, in the end. And in the end, when all have recognized in truth and spirit that the great book of life was written by the Lord, the third testament, the great book of life was written by the Most High himself. They shall share brotherhood and love each other, as is my will. Let's stop right there. Doing good on time. Remember, Israel. Let's go back to verse 32. I got to read that again. Got to read verse 32 again. Again, I tell you, be vigilant. For in the time of struggles, creeds, and doctrines of religions and science, many men, knowing that you do not carry books, will believe that the knowledge given them by their books will be the weapon by which they can defeat my new disciples. I didn't know the Most High was making me a disciple in the last days. I didn't know this. Verse 33. I have told you, disciples, that you shall have to look at the great religions and the small sects directly in the eye, but before neither should you have fear. The truth that I entrusted to you is transparent. The word that I have taught you is clear and simple on the surface, but infinitely deep in its content, and they are powerful weapons with which you will struggle. I did struggle, ladies and gentlemen, when I first got this book, but the Most High is letting me know that I will win, and I'm winning right now. Verse 34. And yet I tell you, there shall arise a people on the earth full of materialism and disbelief to deny to you the right to call yourselves Israel, to deny your testimony of having received the new coming of the Messiah, and that the people are the Jews. Have you not thought this? That people awaits in their bosom the arrival of their Messiah, their Savior, from whom they will receive justice, and who will place them once again over all peoples of the earth. That people knows that I have always come to them. And in this third era, I shall say, why should God come to another people? Why should the Most High come to another people if we can't call ourselves Hebrew Israelites? But here are my teachings. But here are my teachings. To the new disciples, the Third Testament. Title today, War of the Words. Ladies and gentlemen, Jews and Gentiles, you guys take care. I love you.